read this one. My Christmas Miracle by Taylor Caldwell. For many of us, one Christmas stands out from all the others, the one when the meaning of the day shines clearest. Although I did not guess it, my own truest Christmas began on a rainy spring day in the bleakest year of my life. Recently divorced, I was in my 20s, I had no job, and was on my way downtown to go the rounds of the unemployment offices. I had no umbrella, for my old one had fallen apart, and I could not afford another one. I sat down in the streetcar, and there against the seat was a beautiful silk umbrella with a silver handle inlaid with gold and flecks of bright enamel. I had never seen anything so lovely. I examined the handle and saw a name engraved among the golden scrolls. The usual procedure would have been to turn in the umbrella to the conductor, but on impulse I decided to take it with me and find the owner myself. I got off the streetcar in a downpour and thankfully opened the umbrella to protect me. Then I searched the telephone book for the name of the umbrella and found it. I called and a lady answered. Yes, she said in surprise, that was her umbrella, which her parents, now dead, had given her for a birthday present. But, she added, it had been stolen from her locker at school. She was a teacher more than a year ago. She was so excited that I forgot I was looking for a job and I went directly to her house. She took the umbrella.
Stop a second. This isn't part of the train.
Oh, well, try to wipe it off. That's why you can wipe off. You can wipe it off. I'm sorry. She asked me and I said it was. Yeah, it wipes off.
Barely. Look what happens then.
Oh, that's pretty good though. Don't wipe off anything else. Don't wipe it off.
Then you
Philip
thought
did a good
the
job.
product that was a Pope? Now I'm going to do the house and everything and me too. And Philip too.
Look what happens. It smears.
Oh, that's not bad though.
It's been reading.
She was so excited that I forgot I was looking for a job and I went directly to her small house. She took the umbrella, her eyes filled with
Hold
tears.
up the train.
The teacher wanted to give me a reward, but though $20 was all I had in the world, her happiness at retrieving this special possession was such that to have accepted money would have spoiled something. We talked for a while, and I must have given her my address, I don't remember. The next 6 months were wretched. I was able to obtain only temporary employment here and there for a small salary. Well, this was what they now call the roaring 20s, but I put aside 25 or 50 cents when I could to afford it for my little girl's Christmas presents. It took me 6 months to save $8. My last job ended the day before Christmas. My $30 rent was due, and I had $15 to my name, which Peggy and I would need for food. She was home from her convent boarding school and was excitedly looking forward to her gifts the next day, which I had already purchased.
I finished the clown.
Daddy, I'm almost finished.
I had bought her a small tree and we were going to decorate it that night. The stormy air was full of the sound of Christmas merriment as I walked from the streetcar to my small apartment.
Wait.
Bells rang and children shouted in the bitter dusk of the
What
evening,
color?
and the windows were lightened and everyone was running and laughing. There would be no Christmas for me. I had no gifts, no remembrance whatsoever. As I struggled through the snowdrifts, I just about reached the lowest point in my life. Unless a miracle happened, I would be homeless in January, foodless and jobless.
What
I
kind
had
of color?
prayed steadily for weeks.
Brown.
There had been no answer but this coldness
This is Bob.
and darkness. This harsh air, this
No, you do it
abandonment.
right there.
God and men had completely forgot about me. I felt as old as death and as lonely. What was going to become of us? I looked in my mailbox. There were only bills in it, a sheaf of them. and 2 white envelopes which I was sure contained more bills. Oh, very nice, Penny.
Now let's flip it over.
I went up 3 dusty flights of stairs and cried, shivering in my thin
Ow! Static electricity.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I made myself smile so I could greet my little daughter with a pretense of happiness. She opened the door for me and threw herself in my arms. He's turning it around so you can lay down and do another one. Why don't you do the Christmas tree, Abby?
I wanna do that music again.
Do the heart.
You can push it one time.
I want to do the Celtics clover. Any. You can do any one of them except this, this, and this. Okay?
Why?
Because I want to do those. Okay?
Why?
Because I like those.
I want to color one too.
You can color every single one.
What do you want to color, Amy? Yeah, why don't you color the Christmas tree? Make it all green, and then paint the balls different colors, okay? That'd be nice. So find the
You
green.
want me to help you?
Yeah.
Okay. Get the colors that you want the balls. So that's this color. And this color.
This color?
That could be one. Wait. Get the other ones. You want those 3?
And these
All those?
Yeah.
Okay. See all these circles? Only color in those, but don't. Let me do this top one for you.
Okay, don't push it. I'm going to read some more.
Then I can push it after you push them out.
Yep.
After you're done doing all the little circles, tell me, okay?
She opened the door for me and threw herself in my arms, screaming joyously and demanding that we decorate the tree immediately. Peggy was not yet 6 years old and had been alone all day while I worked. She had set our kitchen table for the evening meal proudly and put pans out and 3 cans of food, which would be our dinner. For some reason, when I looked at those pans and cans, I felt brokenhearted. We would have only hamburgers for our Christmas dinner tomorrow.
Color
And
the
gelatin.
cheese.
Yep.
The little mouse.
I stood in the cold little kitchen. Misery overwhelmed me for the first time in my life. I doubted the existence of God and His mercy, and the coldness in my heart was colder than ice. The doorbell rang, and Peggy ran fleeting to answer it, calling that it must be Santa Claus. When I heard a man talking heartily
How do you
to
like
her,
this
I
little?
went to the door.
But how do you like this big one?
He was a delivery man, and his arms were full of big parcels, and he was laughing at my child's frenzied joy and her dancing. This is a mistake, I said. But he read the name on the parcels, and they were for me. When he had gone, I could only stare at the boxes. Peggy and I sat on the floor and opened them. A huge doll, 3 times the size of the one I had bought her. Gloves, candy, a beautiful leather purse, incredible.
I know who it's from.
I looked for the name of the sender. It was the teacher, simply
I knew it.
California, where she had moved to. Our dinner that night was,
Daddy, listen to what Bob said.
yeah.
I knew it.
Our dinner that night was the most delicious I had ever eaten. I can only pray in myself, thank you, Father. I forgot I had no money for the rent and only $15 in my purse and no job. My child and I ate and laughed together in happiness. Then we decorated the little tree and marveled at it. I put Peggy to bed, set up her gifts around the tree, and a sweet peace flooded me like a benediction. I had some hope again. I could even examine the sheaf of bills without cringing. Then I opened 2 white envelopes. One contained a check for $30 from a company I worked for briefly in the summer. It was, said a note, my Christmas bonus, my rent. The other envelope was an offer of permanent position with the government to begin 2 days after Christmas. I sat with the letter in my hand and the check on the table before me. And I think that it was the most joyful moment of my life up to that time. The church bells began to ring. I hurriedly looked at my child, who was sleeping blissfully, and ran down the street. Everywhere people were walking to church to celebrate the birth of the Savior. People smiled at me and I smiled back. The storm had stopped, the skies were pure and glittering with stars. The Lord is born, sang the bells to the crystal night
Not yet.
and the laughing darkness. Somebody cried, "Come all ye faithful." I joined in and sang with the strangers all around me. I'm not alone at all, I thought. I was never alone at all. And that, of course, is the message of Christmas. We are never alone. Not when the night is darkest, the wind coldest, the world seemingly most indifferent. For this is all the same time God chooses. That's a nice one.